All right, how's it going? All right, I'm going to be just kind of giving an overview on the changes and the graphics that I have posted to try to get um, just everybody onto the same page, whether you're watching this live right now or watching it back later. This is not going to be the only time that I go over it. So please feel free to, have questions, ask them in the Discord or whatever things come up. Don't think this is your only opportunity to go over them. But I'm going to start with this C3 scouting report. So you all have probably seen your scouting reports. This is a little different than the ones that we've had in the past. Going from left to right, the way that it works, you've got your helmet and mascot. The stars, the top represent your college prestige. The bottom are your NFL prestige. That is a average, of your results over the last 3 years are what go into that. That's calculated through both how you finish in your conference and how your conference overall compares to the others. And then if you win the national championship or the Super Bowl are the only ways that you can get up to 6 stars. It doesn't guarantee you go to 6 if you win it in 1 year, but that's the only way that you can get a full 6 stars. The home state's pretty self-explanatory, as well as pipeline states, although you may have to look up the shape of certain states if you aren't familiar with all of them. We have the same schemes as we had before. The only change that I have with the schemes that I mentioned before kind of goes across the board with all of the different bonuses, and that is just that the total bonus that any school gets on any one player has been condensed down. They are closer to one another so that we don't have massive outlier schools just for this cycle because of all of the kind of changes and tweaks to it, and that it's frankly not quite as complex as we have before. So I didn't want to end up with one school having a massive advantage. So it's all been brought kind of a little scrunched down closer together. The awards are the same. The Heisman applies to all positions. The other positional awards are as you see, and they're a lesser bonus. There's no wide receiver award here because as all of this data represents, this is for the 2024 season, as if we were starting the 2025 recruiting 6 months ago or whatever, 8 months ago now. So I've said that a bunch of times. I'm happy to say it again. It's a little confusing, but the way that we are doing this is as if we were doing the recruiting at the right cycle, the beginning of the college football season, and then we're going to have new scouting reports this fall when we do the next cycle on time with the 2026 reports for the 2027 recruiting class. Early playing time, it's a little bit different. So you actually can have a negative bonus for early playing time. If you have a bunch of returning players, or if you had a bunch of returning players in the top, like starter equivalent at their positional group, if you have a full starting squad for any one position, it is viewed as a negative for people that prioritize early playing time. So that's what the red represents. The black represents you neither have a positive nor negative bonus for that position, and then green is positive. For development, this is very similar to last year. The only tweak is that there is yellow now, and that is that if the yellow represents the school that has the top bonus for that position. I wanted to, point that out one way. So these are what bucket you fall in, the 1 through 25 or 0 through 25 percentile, up to 50 for 2 bars, 75 for 3, and then up to the top teams for 4, and the yellow being the top overall team. So that's the brief overview of that. I know I've answered a lot of questions about it, but that is kind of the summary of it all at one time. So let me go ahead and get the next thing up here. All right, so this is we're going to switch over to the recruiting. This is what the recruiting is going to look like on any given week. It's pretty simple, really. This is the test one, obviously. The GM info form that you filled out when you answered your recruiting email question, that's what this is for. So you have to put in that email, otherwise it won't count your points. And you see here, we have a maximum of 1,000 points per week. If you submit multiple times, only your last submission for the week will count. So if you change what you want to do, you just resubmit it, but resubmit the whole thing. Don't just add one player. Make sure you're resubmitting your full recruiting. We will be doing preseason recruiting, which is more than 1,000 points. And I will explain how the points are going to be multiplied on the back end. So you're still going to fill this out the same way. It's just that each player is going to get more points than 100 points, which is currently the max that a normal week would allow. These are ranked by alphabetical order, which is pretty simple. You can type in here. So if you want to say, like, somebody starts with an S or L, or, I want to recruit Malachi Tony. I put 100 points. I move on. Whatever players I want to recruit, it's pretty simple. You can scroll to them. You can type their name. I can say, okay, I want, whoever it is, I want to be recruiting. This is a test one, so some of the players have committed through the test one, but all of the players will be in the actual list until they commit, and then they'll automatically be removed. So you can't put points in on somebody that's committed. So it's pretty simple. Let's say that's all I filled it out all the way. I scroll all the way down. If I want a copy of what I put in, you click this tab, you hit submit. You're done. You have successfully recruited for week 1. Pretty simple. The next thing that you'll be seeing, though, this will be updated throughout, like after each week of recruiting. This is a leaderboard. This is actually going to be closer to what it looks like. So green is for players that have met their threshold. They're grayed out once they've committed. It shows you where they've committed. Green, if they say ready to commit, that means they are committing that week. Orange means, I believe it's 0 to 33% of their threshold has been met, and yellow is 33 to 66, and then green is above 66. They can commit before they hit their threshold. It's just that their odds of committing go up as they get closer to their threshold. This is the way that I had it set up in the test for each week to show us who had committed. There is a better visual format of this now, so that you'll be able to see what players go to what schools in any given week. But that is the leaderboard. That's going to be where you are able to track throughout the process of recruiting, where players are getting closer to committing, and then once they've committed, you can see each recruit, you can look up their name and see what school they've gone to if you want to try to steal them. If they've, you won't see if they've locked them, but you'll see if they've committed, so you can try to find out or decide if you want to steal them. Aside from that, the recruiting works the same as it did before. We still have the Hype store that's going to be opening up a couple weeks into recruiting. You still can steal. There's still the NIL conversion to Hype at a 2-to-1 rate. The way the bonuses work, like I said, everything is kind of compressed down. So there aren't as high of bonuses for any one school, but they're the same way. They're calculated the same way. I put in the announcements channel a brief FAQ on how recruiting works. Basically, the bonuses are grouped into categories. So your school is going to get your top bonus for that category. So if you're bad at one of the 3 things in that category, or you're really good at one of the 3 things, it doesn't hurt you if you're bad, and it helps you if you have a good category or a good item in a category. So your home state or pipeline state, if you are there in their home state, that's going to give you the biggest bonus. If you're a pipeline state of theirs, of where the recruit is located, you are going to get a lesser bonus, but some bonus. And then if neither, you won't get a bonus for that category. Then we have the prestige and education. Those were the stars that you talked about, and the education, you can look up your school's ranking or any school's ranking on the site that tracks it. That is linked in the bylaws. The bylaws are not quite completely updated, but I will get them out as fast as I can. But what I'm telling you now is what are the changes to them. Then we have scheme as its own category. Playing time, early playing time, and development ratings are their own category. And then awards and conference legacy are the last category. If you have an award bonus, that's great. That means you get some bonus from the positional award. Conference legacy is the higher your conference, whether you're P4 or G5 or none of the above, are tiered of bonuses. They're small, but you get a slight bonus if your school is a P4 versus a G5 or neither. But if you have a positional award, that's probably going to be a higher bonus than if you have a P4 bonus anyway. I think that's all of the things that I had to cover. Oh, one more key thing. So we are going to have preferences for each of the recruits. So they have things that they weight higher or lower than others. The important thing to note in that is that that and your scouting reports are going to be the ways that you can calculate or try to look at what players you have a higher bonus on than other schools, or you may have a lower bonus on than other schools. But there's not a specific bonus listing per recruit per school that's going to happen for this cycle. You can still counteract if you aren't the highest bonus, or if you have if they really care about home state and you are, a school and your pipelines are not in their state, but location matters to them, you can still, as we've seen, you can still get recruits that way. As it worked in the past, you can use visits to boost their points every week. And once we roll through the cycle of an individual week of recruiting, we're going to use the draft pick lottery website for now. So throwing it back to that fun of clicking the ping pong balls. And we'll keep track of where the recruits go, and they will be removed from the recruiting pool so that you can't accidentally be trying to recruit committed players. So I think the biggest takeaways are: remember your GM info response for your recruiting email, because that's how you give your school points or your players points for your school. Those are not going to be as extreme, and you will get a preference chart per conference for all of the players. I know there's only a few people in here because it's very late. I'm sorry about that. Do any of you guys have any questions? No worries if not. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the recruiting questions channel on the Discord. I know for the new people, it's kind of a lot. I'm happy to go over it a few times. I'll be doing one of these during, earlier hours so more people can join it. And I'll try to have some more visual representations of things for all of you. But we got through the graphics creation, so that part is good. The points are going to be due next Sunday night. That's the plan, and I will be getting out the individual conference recruiting forms. Should be like afternoon-ish tomorrow, so that you can put in your points between tomorrow and next Sunday. You'll have plenty of time. But if you have any questions at any point, or if you're not sure on how something works at any point, I'd rather answer a question 2 times or to a lot of people than have you feel like you don't know what is happening and you're, lost and just trying to play along. So please feel free to ask. If anything comes up that you're not sure of, there are no stupid questions. Other than if you're Baylor, then in which case every question is a stupid question. But I think everybody understands that. So, all right. I think that's everything. Pew pew for life. Go Texas Tech. And let me know if you have any questions that come up whenever you are watching this. Thanks.